Barnaby Joyce, who was listening in there. Barnaby, what do you make of all that?
Isn't it amazing, Carl, that they can come up with legislation to change the weather, but they can't come up with legislation to keep these brutal murderers' wives out of Australia? I mean, when they were dealing with ISIS, their hubbies were going out raping women, murdering babies, beheading people, shooting women in the stomach so they could kill the baby and the mother, chasing the Yazidi people, who did a lot of trying to get them into Australia, and they're in my electorate. You should go talk to some of the Yazidi women about what absolute filth these people are. So they're out, their hubbies were going out during the day, and they came home, and I don't know what they did, rubbed their feet and made them a casserole. Well, they weren't talking to them, how's your day, darling? I mean, these people shouldn't be in Australia. And you've got temporary exclusion orders that can keep them out. What on earth do we let these people back into Australia for? Now, you know, just having to watch them, if we're watching them, that's about $1 million+ a year per person that you, the taxpayers, to fork out to keep an eye on these people. What on earth is this about? Why are they in our country?
I don't think you're alone in thinking that. Let's move on. The tax battle that's been brewing for weeks is now piping hot, Barnaby. But I wanted to ask you this. Have you ever called anyone an arrogant prick before?
I have most definitely done that. And I throw myself at the mercy of the court.
What about the PM? Have you called the PM that?
I haven't done it in Parliament. Not yet. So I don't know. Slip of the tongue and he got caught. That happens. I'm sure Anthony Albanese has heard worse. I've heard worse things said about me, much worse, and I'm sure he's heard much worse things said about him. You know, well, get over it. Get going.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be good for his numbers in the end. It's kind of One Nation mojo. Yeah, no, even we've got to be careful of that stuff like that. Look, I'm really comfortable with where One Nation's numbers are. Polling, that Ausgov poll the other day has gone up again. It's an incredible responsibility we've got, and we've got to, you know, all I'm thinking about is how, you know, we match up to the responsibility of the Australian people. You want an early election.
Every day.
You and Matt Canavan want an early election. I mean, you've probably got more chance of going to the Olympics.
I'll take an early election. I'll take an early election. I don't know whether that's a smart thing for the coalition to do right now. I really don't. But One Nation would certainly take an early election if there's one on offer, and we're not going to have an early election because there's one person who doesn't want an early election, and that is the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, whose polling now has a 2 in front of it, just like ours. In fact, they're only slightly, you know, 1 percentage point or 2 percentage points above One Nation. We have 5 in the Parliament, soon to be 6. And they've got, what, 93 or 94 people, not just in the House of Representatives alone.
Barnaby, we learned this morning rents are on the way up, and the Treasury Secretary said yesterday it's not about supply of housing, this budget, just a redistribution of wealth. So finally someone is indicating what we've all seen. Well,
Ms Wilkinson said one thing that's completely correct. She said, well, we had to find the revenue somewhere. That's what it's about. They run out of money. They can't work the assets on the balance sheet. They don't want to build coal mines or iron ore mines or new dams, new power plants. And then they give away the trinkets of cost of living measures as if they're giving them away. They're actually giving you your money. And then they go, hang on, we've got to go find the money. So they go and tax you. And they tax you. But she also said that it won't change people going to business. Yes, it will. Why would I take a risk and go into business and possibly do my shirt? We got record insolvencies in small business last year, when ultimately, if I win, Uncle Jim takes half of it. I don't think that's a really good deal. I'd whoop it up, go skiing, pee it up against the wall, buy myself a new car, new boat, have a hell of a time. You know? Why take a risk?
That does sound pretty good. Barnaby, good to talk to you, my friend. Take care out there.
Absolute pleasure. See you.
Sarah.